Yo, what up? It is Just a Fan podcast. This is our weekly podcast. We rolling a little bit light tonight. Um, Tristan wasn't able to be with us. He's got daddy duties, and Steve wasn't able to make it with us tonight because he's got other things he's got to handle. But before too long, it'll be all four of us. Right now, um, my name is Eric Wright. Some people call me Easy. Some people call me Pandemonium. Um, and right next to me, other way, right next to me is the what we call the Human Football Encyclopedia. This is Brandon, and
What's up, y'all, man? Hey, Eric, man, we look like two deep safeties out here, man.
I know, right? I guess I'm gonna drop down in the box and I'm gonna lay some lumber.
All
All
right,
right,
man.
but yeah. So tonight's show, we know that the NFL Combine is coming up starting March 1st. That's when they start doing weigh-ins and measurings and whatnot. Um, but what we're going to do is because we're going to have plenty of things to talk about with the prospects in the combine. We're all reviewing film behind the scenes right now so we can know what we're talking about when we start talking about different prospects. But this particular show, we're going to dedicate to the beginning of what everybody likes to call Christmas time. And that's basically the free agent period that's going to be coming up, I believe, what's March 22nd, Brandon?
No, okay. So first, let me jump on this real quick. Today was the first day that you can start franchise tagging players. Um, you have up to 2 weeks to do that. The deadline, I don't know exactly what the date is, but I know it's always like at 4 or 4:30 p.m. Eastern. Um, So there's that. But you can start legally tampering, do legal tampering, I believe, on the 14th,
You're right, the 14th.
and then the actual free agency is on March 16th. And it's interesting how they always say legal tampering, but okay, whatever.
Whatever they want to call it. So, what we're going to talk about in this show, we're going to talk about maybe the top 5 or 6 players at each position um, and who's going to be available. Now, we know that there's some speculation about the trade market. Some players who are not actual free agents might be getting traded this offseason. We're going to kind of hold off on that because it's a big quarterback conundrum. We don't know what's going on with Aaron Rodgers. We don't know what's going on with Jimmy Garoppolo. We don't know what's going on with Russell Wilson. We don't know if Tom Brady's coming out of retirement to be traded. We don't know. So we're not going to hang on that until some things actually start happening. We're going to talk about these guys who are actually free agents at this particular point. When the season ended, they became free agents. Okay. So also, we're going to spend time talking about the guys that we know there's a 90% chance they're going to be starters wherever they go, whatever their next stop is, whatever their next contract is. We're not going to waste time on guys that are going to be backups or whatever else. Okay. So starting with the quarterbacks, Brandon,
Okay,
this list is kind of light when you're talking about guys who will be potential starters. So at the
I
top
figured
of the list,
that.
yeah, at the top of the list we have Jameis Winston. There's Teddy Bridgewater, and then there's Cam Newton. After that, the rest of these guys are perennial backups. So,
Okay,
in your mind, what do you think these guys are going to wind up? We're going to speculate about that on all these positions. But what do you think these guys are going to probably wind up coming next season?
all right. Cam Newton, man, that's a tough one, man, because he was in Carolina majority of his career. Then he was in New England for one season. Then he was back in Carolina for like what, half the season or a little bit more than half the season this past year. I don't know if he gets another chance besides Carolina, because Carolina's quarterback situation is crazy. They had Teddy Bridgewater in 2020 regular season. Now he's in Denver. Then you have Sam Donald. You got PJ Walker. You got Cam Newton. It's like you have 4 quarterbacks within 2 seasons. Like, they need to figure out their quarterback situation. Actually, Matt Rule need to figure out now, because if not, he's gonna be fired to me in the middle of the season. So, but getting back on Cam Newton, I just don't know where he's going to end up. If I think he ends up anywhere, it's going to be in Carolina again. probably competing for a starting job. Jameis Winston, it's kind of hard to say because I want to say New Orleans, but New Orleans over the cap, and he would have to come back, I guess, for a certain amount of money. But to me, that probably makes the most sense. So I don't know. That's tough, man. That is tough. Who's the third quarterback?
Theodore Bridgewater.
Bridgewater. I don't know if he ends up back in Denver because they want Aaron Rodgers so bad. And if he's not back in Denver, what happens to him? So, I mean, there's 3 quarterbacks that could start, but man, we might not know about those 3 guys until, to actually be honest with you, closer to training camp.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I was letting you go ahead and give your spill on it, but I kind of agree with you. At this point in his career, starting with who we talked about first, Cam Newton, at this point in his career, I really I got nothing but love and respect for this man. But at this point in his career, I see Cam Newton as nothing more than a backup the rest of his career.
Definitely.
He has had a bunch of chances to prove that he's back and he's got it together as a player, but it's just not. I don't know maybe it's where he's playing at, maybe it's the system he's in. Maybe if he's in a different system, he flourishes. I don't know, but the chips are down right now, and it's like, hey man, you got to show us you really a starter. I think Cam would be a highly coveted backup, but the question is, would Cam want to do that? Would Cam want to go in and be a backup, and have a chance to go in and play behind somebody else, or more than likely be a younger guy than him, So that's going to be, is he going to be too prideful to want to do something like that? And finally, next you want to talk about Jameis Winston. The best place for Jameis Winston to be is back in New Orleans because that condition is favorable for him. However, the issue that I'm looking at here is that New Orleans is $75 million over the cap. And it's like, you talking about trying to pay a quarterback, and right now the going rate for a mid-tier quarterback is about $25 million.
Actually, no. I think now, because I think I heard Derek Carr might be looking for $35 million a year. So $25 million. I mean, that's almost like, I'm not gonna say like bottom of the barrel like for backups, but like probably like the low end starters is low end starters is like $25 million. So Winston, maybe you could be looking at $28 million. And so this is the second year in a row for New Orleans that they're going to be $70 million or higher over the cap.
So to be fair, you can say 25 to 30 million, that window right
Yeah. Yep.
And like I said, that's a mid-tier quarterback. That's not even an elite quarterback.
No, exactly.
Mid-tier. So, we're looking at that. And then I think Teddy Bridgewater, he's an amazing comeback story. What he went through with his lower body injuries and was able to even come back and be able to play this game on a professional level is amazing. Kind of reminds me of Alex Smith a little bit. But I think I got to put Teddy in the same category that I put Cam Newton, whereas Jameis might have a chance to start somewhere.
Yeah,
he
definitely.
Still has a chance to probably start somewhere because what he did while he was in New Orleans was good enough for somebody to say, hey, you know what? We don't have a quarterback at all. Let's get this guy and bring him in and see what we can do because he's got some positives happening there. He's got more positive than negatives. But Bridgewater, in my opinion, he's on the same wavelength as Cam, where at this point in his career, he's probably going to be a really quality backup. One of the better backups in the league. I don't think anybody's going to, throw the money bags at him to come in and be a starter. Well, go on. What were you saying?
Actually, I was going to say, the only other angle I can bring to this for them to be starters is if teams, and actually this goes back to me saying that they, probably not to training camp, is whoever drafts these rookie quarterbacks, whether it's Malik Willis or Kenny Pickett or Matt Corral, if they don't feel like that they're ready to be like week one starters, they can probably bring these veterans. Yeah, that's there you go. Bridge quarterbacks. You read my mind. There you go.
Mm-hmm. That could be a possibility, but and I think even these guys would know when they get ready to come in, or these teams that are bringing them in, they're gonna be like, "Hey, man, um, I'm a bridge quarterback." You know, it's the writing's on the walls. Like we're not bringing you in to be the starter, especially if they go to a team that has drafted a guy high. They should know, hey, you know what? You're here, but your days are numbered because we spent this high draft pick on this kid who may not be ready right now, but we know eventually is going to be ready. And then you can hang around and be the backup, or you can just push on. So I think they have to know and recognize that, and understand, and then as professionals, be like, okay, am I going to accept that? And get my little backup quarterback check, or am I, I'm too proud. I'm a starter, period. And if I can't be a starter, I'm gonna go to the house because the guys that'll do that. If they can't start no more, I'm not gonna be anybody's backup. You know, so those are the quarterbacks. The thing about it is the quarterback market is extremely thin.
Yeah, well, as far as free agency, definitely.
And in the
Because
draft,
in the draft, definitely. I think the only other quarterback that I know off the top of my head that's guaranteed to be free agent is dude from the Raiders, behind Derek Carr.
Marcus Mariota.
Thank you. Yeah, Mariota. He might be a backup from now on unless someone just makes him a starter. Because it seemed like the quarterbacks that you really want starting for your team are going to possibly be available for trade. But we're not going to get into that tonight.
Right. So you're looking at Marcus Mariota and Jameis Winston, two of the highest touted quarterbacks in their draft class.
Wow.
And we're actually talking about them being backups the rest of their career.
Cause now what year were they drafted? Cause I know it was like
Hey man, you the encyclopedia. I have to look that up. You probably got that right on the top of your head.
no, I ain't got that on top of my head.
I,
I'm about to look it up now. Jameis Winston came out. He's 28 years old, about to be a back. Well, not backup, but yeah, they came out. They came out 2015. So
Jameis is the best chance of still being a starter.
yeah, be a starter. Mariota went two overall, and he's a backup already.
Yup.
That tells you how bad I think quarterback development is.
Yeah, and
Because
that's a whole nother conversation. You're right, but that's a whole nother conversation because we
you
were
ain't
talking
lying.
in our little chat group this week. So let's move on.
All right.
So we're talking about the next position group. Now this is interesting. This is juicy. The wide receiver, man, look here. The wide receiver.
Hold up. Are we skipping over running backs or?
We coming back to running backs.
Okay, let's go wide receiver. Let's go.
I got it listed: quarterbacks, wide receivers, running backs, tight ends, O line.
Okay, that's cool.
Wide receivers. There is an interesting group of wide receivers who are on the market. I think that's probably the most interesting position group on the offensive side of the ball this year.
Okay.
All right, let me read off some names for you. Top of the list: Devonte Adams, Chris Godwin, Mike Williams from the Chargers, OBJ, Michael Gallop, Allen Robinson, Christian Kirk, Juju Smith-Schuster, DJ Chark, Emmanuel Sanders,
Goodness.
AJ Green.
I thought Sanders retired.
Did he say he retired? I might have missed that.
Okay. Keep going while I look into that.
That's pretty much it right there. As far as the top names, the rest of these guys are, maybe second and third guys. But
okay. He had 6. Okay, so real quick, Emmanuel Sanders has hinted at retirement, so don't cover him.
Okay.
All right, Devonte Adams, I think from what I'm hearing, might get franchise tag. So so I'm not gonna get too much into him. Chris Godwin, and
now that late season injury is gonna hurt his money.
It will. He will either be wise to go back to Tampa Bay for 1 year, or B, if someone's willing to give him the multi-year deal, go for it because
A hell of a gamble.
yeah, I know. But there are there are teams that can use a receiver like J- the Jets can use them.
I was thinking the same thing. I was just about to say Jets. Great minds.
The Bears could use them, especially as Allen Robinson is a free agent. I'm sure Allen Robinson doesn't want to go back. Uh, Detroit. Oh, let me say something about Detroit. I heard wide receivers coach Randall Wells says he wants two free agent receivers and a receiver in the draft. So, um,
Wow, how would you feel if you're currently a receiver? If you're Amon St. Brown and you've been playing your tail off with a lackluster quarterback all year, and then hear your coach say, I want two free agent wide receivers and one in the draft. That's kind of a slap in the face because Amon St. Brown I think he's the better of the St. Brown brothers.
oh yeah, definitely. Because the other one that got drafted for Green Bay, like he's what number 4 on the depth chart or something like that.
Right. And Amon has been showing improvement with Jared Goff. He
I know.
has been balling with Jared Goff throwing him the ball. So, I mean, yeah. So, like, I would, if I'm Amon St. Brown and they bring in two free agent wide receivers and then they draft a receiver, uh, and I'm kind of going off the rails here, but I'd be asking for a trade. I'd be like, I don't feel appreciated. Seriously. Because you're saying I can't get it done. And really
nah,
you
nah,
look at who's under center.
nah. I understand 100% what you're saying.
Yeah.
I understand 100% what you're saying, especially those last 5 games where they were just
Yeah.
they were performing much better than they did like in the beginning of the season. Not saying they were terrible in the beginning of the season, but
No, they
you,
were scrappy.
but those last 5 games, like it really you saw it come out the dark into the light. That's what
Yeah,
you saw.
they were extremely scrappy, and it's like, wow, they get some more talent on that team. They're gonna be a problem because if they keep that same scrappy attitude, they're gonna be woo.
Yeah, no. All right,
So
so
moving on, Mike Williams,
Mike
Chargers.
Williams. I heard he wants to be WR1. I mean, again, there's a team. I mean, teams could use him. The Jets could use him. The Bears. Um,
I think he goes back though. I think he stays in LA with the Chargers.
to be honest with you, he'd be wise to do so because him and Keenan Allen with Herbert at quarterback. I mean, you already know what you have there.
Right, and then on top of that, they got the money to throw him a nice deal, a nice,
Yeah,
you know. Now if somebody's dumb enough to go out and just try to beat I think the Chargers are gonna make him an offer, and they're gonna be like, well, you're the young gun on the team. We're gonna make you a fair offer, and if he balks at it and goes somewhere, there's always a team that's gonna throw money. I mean, you're a Cowboys fan. You remember when the Buccaneers threw all that money at Alvin Harper?
man, you read my mind. Hey, you look, you read my mind because I was like, look, when it comes to receivers, you have to be very, very careful giving them big time money
Right.
because they were WR2s in offense, and then you try to make them WR1, which means that hey, you're the foundation piece at wide receiver.
I keep telling people all the time, you cannot make a jackass into a racehorse.
Exactly, and see, and see, the thing is, Alvin Harper was like, even though he was a WR2, like his importance on the offense was not two. It was Aikman, Emmett, Irvin, Novacek, maybe even and Moose and Irvin. I mean Moose and Harper. You can, you
Kellen
know,
Moore.
what I'm saying you can you know almost equal that out. So when Harper went to Tampa Bay, when Peerless Price left Buffalo and went down to Atlanta, you remember that?
Mhm. Yep. And
So
it did not work out. So
it
it's
didn't
like,
work out.
and to be clear, I'm not calling the man a jackass. What I'm saying is, I'm from the country, so you got your mule or your donkey has specific purposes around the farm. They can pull a cart. Donkeys run off coyotes and bobcats and other predators from your herd. They got a purpose. And then you got the horse that you go riding full speed down the road on. That's your
Hmm.
racehorse. Okay. When you ask that donkey or that mule to be a racehorse, you taking him out of his element. And it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. You can't ask a mule to be a racehorse. So Mike Williams is more suited to be wide receiver 2 back in LA
Exactly.
with Keenan Allen, and they could really tear up some stuff. Continue to tear up some stuff, get better. They got 56 million in cap space. I'm sure they can make him a fair offer that
Definitely.
that's not gonna break him. Next up, we got OBJ, who tore his ACL in
The
the Super
Super
Bowl.
Bowl. Um, OBJ would be wise to go back to the LA Rams, man. Just continue to be, just finish your career as a WR2. There's nothing wrong with being a WR2. I know guys have egos. I get it. They want to be the main guy. They want to be the main clock and stuff. Just remain a WR2, man, because as a WR2, how many teams has a good enough cornerback number two? You know what I'm saying? You're going to be in some civilian cornerback two that was like a third round pick or something. You bound to crush them. Just you know, rehab in LA, stay in LA as a WR2. Um, you don't have to come back, but so fast. So just stay in LA
Now,
as a
let me say
WR2.
this.
That's my personal opinion, but he might try to go as a WR1.
Let me say this. LA has to do some serious cap gymnastics.
And that's true too. I forgot about that.
Because remember, we talked about this, I think, in a previous show. Yeah, they went and bought a team, but can they actually run it back? Run it back. They talking about running back this and that. And I'm like, okay, where you getting this money from? Who you
No,
about to restructure? Who you about to let go of so you can keep Von Miller, so you can keep OBJ, who were instrumental in your run, your push late in the season.
right,
So they're like 21 million over right
right,
now.
exactly.
So
Um,
you gotta
and
see.
now, and I know I said LA, but just be a WR2 somewhere where they have an established WR1. So like, let's say Godwin does leave Tampa Bay, go to Tampa Bay and be a
Yeah,
WR2 next to Mike Evans. That's fine. If Mike Williams happens to leave the Chargers,
yeah.
go stay in LA, but go to the Chargers. My thing is be a WR2 at this stage of your career. You torn your ACL twice in what 16, 17 months. The same one,
Oh, I didn't
unfortunately.
know it was the same one.
I think it is the same one if I'm not mistaken. That's what I'm saying.
That's the problem.
That's what I'm saying. Be a WR2. There's nothing wrong with that because you're going to be against some civilian corner. Like I said, how many teams have two good corners, let alone one? You know what
And
I'm saying?
you can't really have two good corners like you used to anymore because the cap won't allow it. Because usually your shutdown guy who's clamps gonna get that big contract.
Yeah, unless he's already clamping in his second or third year in the league.
Right. So like if he starts, excuse me, unless he's already on his rookie deal.
That's what I'm saying on his rookie deal. Yeah.
All right. So moving on, Michael Gallop was one of your guys down there in Big D. Uh, he was like the third receiver on the roster. But I'm gonna tell you what, I've always admired Michael Gallup as a player. Um, and with Amari Cooper's huge contract, if there, my opinion, just my opinion, I would trade Amari Cooper to some salary cap rich team,
Hmm.
send him on. Like for example, I'm just a situation scenario. All right, we're hearing rumblings about Jarvis Landry wanting to leave Cleveland. Cleveland's got 23 million in the cap.
Right.
You can send Amari
Mm,
Cooper over there. All right,
that's true.
DJ Shark is leaving. Is probably going to leave Jacksonville.
Jacksonville. Yep.
Jacksonville's got 59 million.
Hmm.
The Jets have 48 million. You know what I'm saying? I would trade Amari Cooper to the Jets, the Colts, somebody like that. You know, uh,
You know what?
and
So
keep Michael Gallup.
so I've heard someone suggest trade Coop and a 24th overall pick to the Jets for the number 10 overall pick.
You
You
think
know,
he can garner that in his age now?
well that's why they said trade Cooper and our 24th overall pick for their 10th overall pick.
I mean, they can pull it off. That makes a lot of sense.
I mean, let me put it this way and Cooper's not old. He's not. He may seem like he's old, but he's not. He's still 27, doesn't turn 28 until like the summertime. So he's still relatively
No,
young enough.
I did not know that.
Yeah, Cooper. No,
I thought he was closing in on 30 or right at 30.
nah, he's still 27, so he's still young. Um,
Well, if that's the case, then yeah, you could probably get you trade your one and him for a higher one. It's feasible.
it is
But
feasible.
you know, we're going off the rails, but the Michael Gallup's gonna be cheaper.
Yeah, Gallup's gonna be cheaper.
CeeDee Lamb is proven that he can be the number one in Dallas.
My this is what happened in Dallas. Let me see what happened in Dallas. One of the things that happened was one, Dak Prescott's calf was never 100% the entire time he came back after the Minnesota. I mean, after he came back after the Minnesota game that he missed. Two, our offensive line was not always the best and heavily penalized. And three, Kellen Moore did a terrible job of getting the ball to, especially to Amari Cooper. So if he goes to a team that's going to like give him the targets, then he can really have a bounce back season.
So
So
we're talking about Cooper. We're talking about Michael Gallup.
I'm talking about Cooper.
Okay.
Gallop, and see, I would love to have Gallop back, but I mean, Kellen Moore's got to prove to our offense line got to get better. Dak is going to be healthy, of course, in the beginning of the season, but Kellen Moore got to show me that he is going to get the ball to his playmakers and stop half stepping.
Okay. So that's a coaching issue.
Yeah.
From a financial standpoint, it makes all the sense in the world. And we're getting off. We're talking about free agency and we're talking about trades now, but it makes all the sense in the world. And it's going to be really unpopular. Dallas fans, I see you watching. I hear you listening, but I'm just being real with you. And I'm taking off my fan hat and looking at it from the analyst standpoint, the capologist standpoint. It makes all the sense in the world to trade Ezekiel Elliott and trade Amari Cooper. Get them off your books and go with these younger players, and you can still be a threatening team.
All right. The only thing with Zeke is if we trade Zeke, we cannot do so until after June 1st.
Ooh,
Um,
you got
that's
that June 1st dead money.
Yep. That's number one. Or he won't be released until next offseason. That's what I'm getting because him being released doesn't I mean if we release him before June 1st, it does us no good.
Okay,
That's according to Mike Fisher, who covers the Cowboys on SI.com.
okay. So yeah, all right. So yeah, we're a little off the rails here, but yeah, from the 22 million that they're over the cap right now. Let me see.
Now, and I get it. The Cowboys do have some switches that they can flip to get back underneath the cap because they're gonna to flip the switch on Dak Prescott's contract, and that's gonna free up about $15 million. So right now we're talking about $6 million over the cap. They got some other switches they can flip and do some other things, but that's a whole nother topic.
Okay. Well, let's move on. Let's talk about wide receivers here. Allen Robinson, Chicago Bears.
Um, Situation in Chicago didn't go well. He could possibly still be a good WR1, not a great one, but still a good one. Again, um, I don't see him being a WR2, so he's gonna want to be a WR1. So question is who's willing to throw the question I think for a lot of these receivers is one, are you willing to be a WR2? If not, and you still want to be a WR1, who's going to give you the money? That's what it really boils down to for all for these receivers.
Yep.
Like I said, Devonte Adams going to get franchise tag. More than likely, he's a WR1. He's going to remain a WR1 until further notice. So you're going to pay him. OBJ is a different situation. He'll be better off being a WR2. So go somewhere where you can be a WR2 and just destroy some, like I said, civilian corner. Same thing with Gallop. He'd be good. He'd be wise to be a WR2.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a WR2.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. All right, so we're talking about Christian Kirk and AJ Green, who are both free agents for the Arizona Cardinals. Um, and in my opinion, I think they're only going to keep one of them if they can, and that's probably going to be Christian Kirk. because
Right.
AJ Green is aging, and let's not forget there's still Andy Isabella and there's still Rondale Moore there, the rookie,
Right.
was doing some good things for a while. But the Cardinals, they're right up against the cap. They're less than $1 million over, so they can easily fix that. That's
Yeah,
so.
easily. Yeah, definitely.
So that's an easy fix. Typically, when teams are 10 million over or less, those are easy fixes. When you start getting into the 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, $70 million range, that's when
Right.
it becomes a problem.
Yeah,
But
definitely. Yeah, I'm trying to go back to what the 2019 Arizona Cardinals looked like because I'm trying to remember who were the receivers were because I don't. Oh, Larry Fitzgerald. That's the difference. Okay.
mhm,
Okay, that's right. Larry Fitzgerald was there. So, see, Fitzgerald was there, and Isabella, Christian Kirk. So Kirk has been a number two before then. So okay, so then yeah, he can so yeah, it would be wise for Kirk to remain a number two because he's not an anchor receiver.
no,
He's not an anchor receiver.
definitely not.
Yeah, he would be wise to stay in Arizona. He already knows the system. He'd be a fantastic number two to AJ Green. That's okay, that's the part I was missing was Larry Fitzgerald was there. Duh. I don't know how in the world I forgot that.
Yeah,
Um
he's a very underrated receiver
yes,
uh, overall.
yes.
Okay, so we got Juju Smith in Juju Smith is Smith Schuster, excuse me, is
Yeah, I know.
and I'm like looking at some of these other receivers that they have in Pittsburgh. He's one that could probably let walk with the emergence of Chase Claypool and
Right.
Deontay Johnson
Okay.
and oh man, James Washington.
Oh, that's right. James Washington's still there. And that's right.
Uh,
Yeah,
and there's
yeah,
another guy. I'm slips my mind. He's pretty good. It's another guy. I cannot think of it right now. But then also, there's a quarterback quandary going on right now because they got to figure out who their quarterback is going to be.
yeah. I would let Juju walk. I'll let him walk. Just Juju is he's not an anchor receiver as well. That's somebody else that should be a WR2, but he's probably not gonna say, "Oh, I'm WR2, I'm WR1." And if I'm an NFL team, well, one, I don't think he's mature enough to be a WR1.
No,
That's just my personal opinion. I would say, look, you either come in as a WR2 and you take this amount of money, or keep it moving,
yeah, and he's going to sit up. He's probably going to balk at some of the offers that he gets.
and
I,
that's fine.
I think Pittsburgh is going to make him an offer,
Yep.
and I think he's going to be like, nah. And I could be completely wrong about this, but Pittsburgh's got a little cap room. They could work with him and say, "Hey, man, we're gonna give you this. We think this is fair." And he may say, "Okay, cool, I'll stay." But he
Just
may be looking at the climate. He may be saying, "Okay, who's my quarterback gonna be?" And he might say, "Nah, bro, I'm gonna go somewhere else." Like prime example, I'm gonna give you an example scenario, and I doubt this happens, but let's say Pittsburgh trades for Jimmy Garoppolo.
right.
Okay, if I'm a receiver, come on now.
And I
If
hear
I'm
you.
a receiver
Yep.
and I'm a free agent, they bring in Jimmy Garoppolo after I done had Ben Roethlisberger, future Hall of Famer Ben Roethlisberger, as my quarterback, and they bring in Jimmy Garoppolo.
That's a step backwards.
I'm finna go.
Yeah.
I'm packing up my stuff. I got a U-Haul. Hey man, I'm finna go. I'll go anywhere there's a decent quarterback because I'm not finna like have balls thrown over my head and me throwing them hospital balls.
But
You
you
know,
know what?
you know what a hospital ball is, right?
Yeah, 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 all that's
Yeah,
exposed.
expl-
Um,
you just a barbecue because they expose
uh,
your ribs.
uh
That's it. You know,
huh.
so
Um, and even if they don't trade for Jim Garoppolo, they keep saying, "Well, Mason Rudolph is our starting quarterback."
oh God, no, Joe, Jesus, that's more the same thing.
Is that's what I'm saying. So even if they don't bring in Jimmy Garoppolo, they keep saying, "Well, Mason Rudolph is our starting quarterback." Well, if he's your starting quarterback, go for it then.
Hey man, I rag hard on Jimmy Garoppolo. I rag on him hard, but Jimmy Garoppolo is better than Mason Rudolph.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, slightly better, but he's better.
yeah.
He's better. Mason
Definitely.
Rudolph was like, oh Lord, he got the hardest head in football. We know that much. But moving forward, going on to running backs. These are some interesting names. You ready?
Okay. Go
All
for
right,
it.
so we have Leonard Fournette. Okay,
Mm,
Melvin Gordon, Chase,
okay.
Chase Edmunds, Cordero Patterson. Well, he's kind of a jack of all trades. I wouldn't even call him a back. Uh, he's a wide back. That's
Yeah.
yeah. He's like Debo would say. Uh,
Yeah.
James Conner. So you got two free agent running backs in Arizona.
It's
That's
only yeah.
right up against the cap. Not to mention two wide receivers. Uh,
Yeah.
wait. There's a couple of more that's gonna really jump out at you.
Okay.
Raheem the Rocket Mostert.
Your boy.
Yeah. J.D. McKissick, Sony
Oh.
Michelle, and the rest of the guys are kind of.
Okay.
I can read a couple of more, but there's one way down at the bottom of the list. It's kind of funny, and I think he's very valuable. He could be a great pickup for somebody. Dante Foreman. He
That's
played.
right for me.
He
For
carried the role
Tennessee. That's right. That's right.
Tennessee while Derrick Henry's on. He did an admirable job. So
Yeah.
what he did during that time period could really help his case in free agency.
Sure can. All right. All right. Give me one running back each at a time.
All right, so let's go with the big man, Leonard Fournette.
Leonard Fournette. If I'm Leonard Fournette, I'm surveying the teams and I'm saying, where can I go where I don't have to be a workhorse running back like Tampa Bay was for the last couple of years, where I don't have to be a workhorse, like a true workhorse running back where you get 25, 30 carries a game, and I'm getting like 15, 18 carries a game, but my body lasts longer during this whole stretch of the season.
Yeah,
That's what I would do.
where he basically be like an ancillary back, or he's with running back by committee.
Yeah, pretty much, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
that's what I would try to do.
the teams that would be a good fit for him were those teams where you had O'Shanahan disciples that like to mix and match running backs.
Yes,
Outside of
definitely.
John Reed. Now, here's the problem with that: Leonard Fournette doesn't have that twitch to hit that one cut and go zone blocking, zone run scheme. Uh, so he's a straight downhill.
Yeah, he is.
He fits more in Greg Roman's system in Baltimore. That type of system.
So then,
Straight
so
downhill.
so then the question is, will Baltimore ask him to be a bell cow running back? And no, actually, no, they have some running backs that got hurt though.
Mm-hmm. Now here's the thing. He can still. I'm saying teams like that. It doesn't have to be Baltimore. So like prime example, Seattle. Straight downhill.
Seattle could use a running back.
Uh,
If now, if I'm okay, so you said Seattle, and I'm just going off back. I'm going based off what you're saying. If they are able to keep Russell Wilson in Seattle and get some kind of offensive line, because they need offensive line, but they're going to do it through free agency because they trade all their draft picks. They don't have anything. If they are able to keep Russell Wilson, if they can sit and tell me that I would be running back by committee, then I would do it.
and then see those are the type of things that form a symbiotic relationship because if I'm Russell Wilson and I want to stay in Seattle, if I got Leonard Fournette behind me in the backfield, that's the
Yeah,
consistent back he's had since Marshawn Lynch.
Exactly, and just give me an offensive line
Yeah,
and
and
let's go.
let's get an offensive line and let's do something. And finally, Seattle actually has some cap space to go after some linemen.
See,
But as long as they don't touch none of mine. Okay. But
give me no running back.
Melvin Gordon.
Wants to be a starter. He wants to be a bell cow running back.
And I think those days are over.
I wouldn't give him the money because I'm looking at how running backs are now, and I look at how what Dallas did with Zeke. I look at what the Rams did with Todd Gurley, knowing full well that boy's knees. He had
His knees,
arthritis,
his knees
arthritis,
made
and
out saltines, yeah.
yeah, arthritis in his knees. His knees are Swiss cheese now. Um, I look at what happened with David Johnson in Arizona when he got that big contract a few years ago.
Who's
Stop.
free agent in Houston now. Thanks a lot, Bill O'Brien. Just now a free agent in Houston. He should have been gone.
Just basically with these running backs, stop paying them. Stop paying them. Just
I
whatever.
mean, backs are a dime a dozen nowadays. Like
Here they are.
there's going to be a plethora of running backs that are going to be available in the late rounds of the draft and
Always,
undrafted.
always have been, always will be.
And people are learning, hey man, you ain't got to draft running back high. You can get you a quality starter. Raheem Mostert was a 6th-round draft pick.
Mike Shanahan started that stuff in Denver with Mike Bell, Tatum Bell, Gary Anderson, Orlando's Gary, Reuben Drones, Terrell Davis. I mean, his highest draft pick at running back was Clinton Portis in round 2. Mike Shanahan started all that stuff.
And that's if you have a competent scouting department, you can go out and find you a running back undrafted.
Yes, the
leading rusher for the San Francisco 49ers this year was Elijah Mitchell. He was a 7th-rounder.
See, that's what I'm saying. You have to scout well, you have to draft well, you have to develop well, and execute the game plan, and you can get a whole bunch of low draft picks to be your starters, and you won't have too many salary cap problems.
Yeah, those days are gone where we got to draft a running back in the 1st round. Oh
yeah.
No,
we don't have to do. We don't have to
1,400-yard back in the 7th round.
Look, and no disrespect to any of these Hall of Fame legend running backs I'm about to name. We don't have to do Emmitt Smith no more. We don't have to do Barry Sanders no more. We don't have to do LaDainian Thomason no more. Again, no disrespect to those Hall of Fame running backs, but it's just that at this point of time now in the NFL, right. We don't have to do that anymore. We don't.
Times have changed. It's like, you don't have to get a phone card to dial long distance no more.
Exactly.
It's like, man, I got a cell phone. I can call all over the country, no problem.
Right.
So,
exactly.
Times have changed. You got to move with the times. And so, honestly, my son's not very into sports. He's 9. He's not very into sports. But if he was going to play football, I'd be like, son, you are not playing running back.
Exactly.
You're going to play a receiver or defensive back. Or if you got a good arm, you're going to play quarterback.
Exactly.
By the time my son gets ready to go to college, or God bless, he goes to the NFL, it's going to be all about him.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to have, he's not that big, he'd be an edge rusher, but you got to have a quarterback. You got to be able to block for that quarterback. You got to be able to rush that quarterback, and you got to be able to catch for that quarterback, and you got to be able to stop the guy that can catch for that quarterback. Those are the important positions now.
Unless you're really special at a different position, like Mike linebacker. Like if you're a Mike linebacker, of course you gotta be able to run sideline, but you also gotta be able to blitz and you gotta be able to drop back in coverage.
Absolutely. We didn't went out the rails though.
And of course, if you're a free safety, then you gotta be a true deep ball safety like a Ed Reed or Earl Thomas.
But still be able to jump up in the box and go head up with a running back in the hole like you're a linebacker.
And that too.
You gotta be a hybrid now.
Yep.
Okay,
really
so Chase Edmunds and James Conner, we can talk about them together.
I think both of them are more so backups than starters. I think they are not running back by committee type backs. That's what they are.
Because when you got two backups running together, that 2 backups make 1 starter.
Hey.
I mean, if you put 2 of your running backs, I went to Westbrook High School in Beaumont, Texas, back during the 90s, and I swear we ran the triple option.
Oh God.
It was a hybrid, like a triple option. We did a lot of passing, but man, I had some classmates. We had like 4 tailbacks that they rotated in and out of that game at any given time. And any one of them could break it long on you and just kill you. But it was just a platoon of running backs, and they kept that going for a while, and it was effective. We were in the playoffs every year. We were several years we were state ranked. So, but I digress. Chase Edmonds and James Conner together are a problem.
Yeah, of course.
James Conner by himself, not so much.
Right, Chase Edmonds by himself,
not so much.
Exactly.
Unless they join another crew of running backs. So they're gonna be bargain basement. A lot of these guys are gonna get some bargain basement deals because, like, man, hey man, you're a running back. If you don't
Yeah.
want take this money, this is what we're gonna offer you. And guess what? If you don't want it, lots of luck, my friend. We're gonna go find a guy from East Bumblefuck University
Slippery Rock University.
that wasn't drafted. He went undrafted. He wasn't even invited to the combine. But we saw his pro day.
Yep.
We were swatting mosquitoes and was wading through the swamp to get to his school. It was gonna be some small school guy. And guess what? He's a heck of a running back. And
Like I said,
he had more tread on the tire than you do.
like I said, he went to Slippery Rock University.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, those guys, Cordero Patterson, because of his age, that's gonna be a problem. But the plus is his versatility is gonna
He
help.
he needs to stay in Atlanta because the coach down there knew what to do with him. He needs to stay down in Atlanta. Just stay down there.
He's a poor man's Debo Samuel, even though Debo Samuel came along after him.
Right.
But I mean, Debo Samuel took what Cordero Patterson is doing and made it even better. It's like, yeah, I can play running back. Yeah, I can play receiver. Whoa, guess what? I can return kicks too.
Yep.
So he's honestly, for the right price, I wouldn't mind him in San Francisco because Debo Samuel has a history of hamstring injuries, and he'll pull up and might be out a couple of weeks. I don't mind having Cordero Patterson running the same doggone offense for 2 games.
Hey.
Because he can do it.
There you go.
Yeah. So I mean, because of his versatility and his return ability, he probably gonna get a nice deal.
Yeah.
Raheem Mostert is next. I honestly see him either re-signing in San Francisco.
How old is he?
He's 29, but he'll be 30 by the beginning of the season.
I would either remain in San Francisco or I would just again be one of those type of running back by committee type guys.
And here's the thing: he can go to Miami
I've heard that.
because his old offensive coordinator is now the head coach,
That's true.
and he runs the same system.
Yeah.
And last time I checked, I think Matt Breida's still down there. And the year we went to San Francisco with the Super Bowl, it was Matt Breida and Raheem Mostert. That's who was the backfield.
Hey, that's fine. I mean, if that works in down in Miami, that's fine too. But
I
I'm
don't,
just saying,
I don't want to see him go. I love Raheem Mostert to death, but his injuries has been an issue. But when he's on, he's on. He could,
hey,
but
hey.
the injuries are an issue. So wrapping it up with the top running backs, J.D. McKissick and Sony Michel. J.D. McKissick in Washington, Sony Michel in.
I heard McKissick could possibly be resigned in Washington. So that's it for him. Sony Michel. We'll see. I was again running back by committee.
Okay, so let's move on. We're getting short on time. So what do you say we cut it off with the offense, and maybe next week we'll do the defensive free agents?
That's fine.
Okay. All right. So we'll do tight ends and offensive line, and then we'll sign out for the night.
That's cool.
Tight ends: Mike Gesicki, Dalton Schultz, David Njoku. These are great names. David Njoku is so underrated.
Yes.
Rob Gronkowski. We don't know if he's going to retire again or he'll stay. Zach Ertz, Cjo Uzama, who's very underrated.
Mm-hmm.
Evan Ingram,
Mm-hmm.
OJ Howard.
Mm-hmm.
Those are some, hey man, those are some good tight end names right there.
You know what? A lot of those tight ends you just mentioned are not going to really command a whole lot of money because they really haven't done a whole lot. Now, I'm not going to say anything about Rob Gronkowski yet because we don't know what he's going to do. Who's the first one before you named Dalton Schultz?
Mike Gesicki, Dolphins.
Yeah, okay, that's who. Yeah, he is in the Dolphins. We'll see what happens with him. He might either stay in Miami, or if what's his name, McDaniels don't believe he fits the system, then he's gone. I tell you what. Now, I know this is not going to make sense, but this is what might happen. Schultz out of that group might get paid the most money because his numbers back it up, but he's not the kind of tight end that you sit there and say he is George Kittle, he's Travis Kelce, he's Darren Waller. He's not on their level. But because of his numbers, he might get paid a good amount of money. Not saying he's getting paid more than those guys, but he might get paid a good amount of money.
So do you think it'll be warranted? Like, I mean, I know
No, because
guys get paid, they really don't deserve it. But
no, that's what I'm saying. It's not warranted because again, he's not Kittle, Kelce, he's not Waller, he's not Zach Ertz and Zach Ertz prime. You know what I'm saying? He's not those guys. He is a guy who was fortunate enough to catch so many passes back-to-back years from Dak Prescott. And the thing is, okay, shoot, oh yeah, he because actually he was the backup originally behind Jarwin, but Jarwin tore his ACL last in the season of 2020. And so then he just caught passes, got yards. Same thing this year. So someone's going to pay him, but when they pay him and say, "Okay, we're going to really get you the ball," I think it's going to backfire on him. And I mean, he's going to take the money, of course, but
he's not going to be able to show and prove like a Kelce or a Kittle.
No. He'll be one of those post first June cut guys in 2024, 2025, something like that.
We'll be talking about him, I guess, saying, guys that teams overpaid for.
Right.
You paid Ferrari prices for a Yugo type of deal. Yeah. All right. So these names here, David Njoku, Evan Ingram, OJ Howard. I mean, man, these guys are good players. Zach Ertz is still a good player.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Those guys are not going to command a lot of money because they didn't get utilized a whole lot for whatever their reason is. Like Njoku, they brought in a tight end with him from Atlanta. I forgot the guy's name. Shoot. Dang it. I don't know why I'm forgetting his name. But then
Cooper.
Huh?
Cooper. You talking about the tight end that came out of Atlanta that went to Cleveland?
Yeah.
Hooper.
Oh, sorry, Austin Hooper. That's right. Yeah, it was Austin Hooper. So yeah, so Austin Hooper was in front of him. You had Jarvis Landry. You had Nick Chubb running the ball like crazy, and you had Kareem Hunt running the ball. And Njoku is not going to cost you a lot of money. You can use him as a tight end one. He doesn't have to be like the main target, but he can be like maybe your second or third target within the offense. Same thing with Ingram, and same thing with who's another tight end? Oh, OJ Howard. OJ Howard was with Rob Gronkowski, Cameron Brate, Mike Evans, Antonio Brown, and Chris Godwin. Like,
he was pushed down on the depth chart. He wasn't getting looks.
Right.
He wasn't getting targets. I think he's a guy I truly believe, and you can call me if I'm wrong on this time next year, but I truly believe if OJ Howard got to truly be a tight end number one in somebody's team, he could really shine. He could possibly be a Pro Bowler. I think he's that good.
That's why I'm saying, like, that's why I said the Njokus, the Howards, the Ingrams, they didn't get a whole lot of targets. So like what the money they're gonna probably command is gonna be like here, but the production potentially is like here.
They're gonna get that whoever pays the correct amount for these guys.
They get the money's worth.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Evan Ingram has had terrible quarterbacks. I mean,
Daniel Jones.
I was in love with Evan Ingram when he came out of Ole Miss. I was like, this guy's wow. Who reminded me of? Who? Without the felonies, Aaron Hernandez. That's who Evan Ingram reminded me of. Without the felonies, he reminded me of Aaron Hernandez as far as on the field, between the lines talent. I was like, this guy's wow. And he just been in a bad place. And I think if he goes somewhere where he has a
legitimate quarterback,
he can really shine.
And I'm not saying it has to be an Aaron Rodgers type quarterback. Just be some kind of legitimate quarterback.
Be one of these young guys' security blankets, like one of these young.
Thank you. Because
like a Justin Herbert or Joe Burrow or these young. Hell, a damn Trey Lance. He already got a George Kittle. But
you know what?
You know
what? You read my mind again because when I think of veteran tight ends working with young quarterbacks in the past, I'm thinking of Troy Aikman ended up with Jay Novacek, who was a veteran by the time he got to Dallas.
Yes. Yes.
Frank Wycheck was a veteran by the time he got to Tennessee with Steve McNair.
Yes.
Audrey Crumpler with Michael Vick, man, they were security blankets for those young quarterbacks, man, and that's golden, man. Go to New York and be a security blanket for Zach Wilson. Be a security blanket for
The
uh,
Bear.
Justin Fields with the best. You
Yeah.
again, you reading my mind.
Mhm.
Do that. There's nothing wrong with like you
Houston
said.
Texans.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. He can use one down there.
Yeah. I mean, these are teams where you got young quarterbacks and they need a security blanket. The tight end is the quarterback's best friend.
Thank you.
And
Thank
if
you.
you got a reliable tight end down there with a young quarterback, that's going to build his confidence. It's like, oh, he's coming. Oh, there's my tight end. Boom.
Third and 7, boom, first down. Third and 5, boom, first down.
Right. So
Red zone, boom, touchdown.
guys like Uzama and Ingram and Howard and Njoku, they could go to some place that's really tight end starved with a young quarterback and really shine. And teams won't hardly pay him anything. Let's move on. Talking about offensive line. Okay.
Okay.
Now these are regardless of position on the line. These are just the top offensive linemen.
Okay.
So we got tackles, we got centers, we got guards. Okay.
Right.
Teron Armstead, New Orleans. I don't think they're going to be able to retain him because of that cap situation, and he is a monster. HBCU came out of Pine Bluff. Ryan Jensen, center for the Tampa Bay.
Okay.
Orlando Brown Jr., tackle for the
That's
Chiefs.
right. He is a free agent.
Yes. Brandon Sheriff, guard, Washington football team. Well, I'm sorry, the Commanders.
He's gone.
Yeah. Laken Tomlinson, guard, San Francisco.
49ers, yep.
And he's a Pro Bowler. You know, first Pro Bowl. He's been overlooked for years, but this is his first Pro Bowl. Dwayne Brown, tackle, Seattle. If I'm Seattle, I'm re-signing him. Right, I gotta re-sign him.
Okay, yeah, you do.
Connor Williams, Dallas Cowboys.
Yep.
Ben Jones, Tennessee Titans. And let's see, Jason Peters, Chicago Bears, and Trent Brown, New England Patriots.
Jason Peters need to retire. Just do it. Just do it.
Man, I think Jason Peters is my age. I'm serious. That's like
you might not be far fetched, dude. You might not be far fetched.
Didn't he play with McNabb? I'm being funny, but dang, it seems like he played with McNabb. I could be wrong.
Give me a minute. I'm trying to. Well, remember he was in Buffalo before Philadelphia.
Right. Okay.
Eric, how old are you?
I'm 47.
Well, okay. Well, Jason Peters is older than me. He's 40 years old.
Jeez.
He just he just turned 40 today last month, 22nd.
God.
That's what I'm saying. He needs to retire.
And then the countless injuries too. He needs to go ahead and take it to the house.
Yes. Just sit
down.
down.
So we're going from the bottom up. So right below him, this is crazy. He's ranked below Jason Peters. It's Trent Brown for New England Patriots.
He needs to stay in New England.
Yeah, I would stay in New England.
He's a system guy. When he's out of New England, he's trash. He's a system guy. Stay in New England.
I'll tell you what, when you get folk from New England, if New England does not re-sign a guy, or if he trades a guy to you, buyer beware. Because a lot of times New England, they don't let go of nobody that still has any value. That they know how they know the art of the deal when it comes like used car salesmen. They'll get a car and make it look shiny and it runs well, but it's gonna break down as soon as you get it off the lot. That's hard. Buyer beware when you get somebody from New England. Because if New England if they think you have any value, they're gonna resign you. They're not gonna let you out the building until your value's gone. But they'll make it look like you still have value and let you walk out the door and be like, look at these idiots. They just signed this guy that's about to break down into you. You know. So yeah, buyer beware anybody coming out of New England. All right. Moving on. Ben Jones, center, Tennessee Titans.
I'm not familiar with him, so I'm gonna let you ride on him. I'm gonna let you ride on that.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with Ben Jones either. He's not a household name, but he's like one of the top 10 linemen available.
Okay.
Connor Williams, Dallas Cowboys. Now you the
Yeah,
Cowboys.
no. I know. Because and here's my thing with Connor Williams. He's not a guard because he's not strong. I mean, he got stronger, but it was never strong enough to be a true guard. If someone signs Connor Williams, and he had a whole lot of penalties this past season, I think you need to move him to right tackle and give him a chance and see what happens.
Does he have the feet to be a tackle though?
He was a tackle in college. Now, of course, just because you attack on college don't mean you tackle in the
I was about to
NFL.
say that. Yeah, I was about to say that.
But that's why I say move him to right tackle just to kind of protect yourself a little bit because I don't want him. I don't want you moving him from left guard to left tackle.
Oh,
Um,
dear God, no.
so that's why I said move him to right tackle, but also be careful how many years you give him and how much money you're paying him.
Yeah, I'm noticing in the last few years in the NFL, these teams are moving their edge rushers around.
And
So
that's
most of
true.
the time that edge rusher is head over their left tackle. No, they'll move him over there to their right tackle if they know their right tackle ain't strong.
And that's true. But
Yeah,
I,
so
I, I'm just saying, I would still rather have you at right tackle versus left tackle because I know that at left tackle you protect the quarterback's blind side, and I prefer you to be at right tackle and say, hey, look, at least the quarterback can,
see
or you can just do something a little bit more to the protect him over at right tackle versus trying to protect him over at left tackle. You see what I'm saying?
yeah. Okay. So Dwayne Brown, Seattle Seahawks. If Seattle's smart, they resign the guy.
Yeah,
He's an all
right.
pro at one point. I mean, he may not be on that level anymore, but he's serviceable unless they can go out and draft just the next great left tackle.
Right, and I don't know where. No, they don't have any picks yet. You might as well keep Dwayne Brown.
Right.
Who's next?
Lakin Tomlinson, right, left guard. Him, and Trent Williams, that left side of that offensive line was like road graders.
Yeah,
They
they were.
Anything that went off that left side in San Francisco was gonna get some yards.
especially when George Kittle lined up next to Trent Williams and Kyle Juszczyk was the
Exactly.
fullback lineup on that side, and just like, okay, shoot, they can put me back there, and I would have gotten at least 3 yards of carry.
Right. That left side. So uh, you know, with them getting Jimmy Garoppolo off the books and doing some restructures, they can save some more money by extending some guys that are still under contract,
Hmm.
kicking the can down the road, so to speak.
Right,
I think they can re-sign Lakin. I don't know if Lakin wants to stay. That's the only thing. Because now he's like, wait, I'm a Pro Bowler now. Let
right.
me go test the market right quick and see what's out there because people know I'm playing right next to Trent Williams. And if Trent Williams don't get the pancake, I usually do. We both been served. We both been to International Hall for pancakes this year. So, because if you just put on the film and watch Lakin play. Oh my lord, he be rolling some guys for real. So I'm hoping as a Niners fan, I'm hoping that they make him a fair offer. And he's like, you know what? Let's run it back because we were too close not to get back in this thing. We got a new quarterback. I ain't got to block that long because this guy can actually move off the spot. You know,
Exactly, exactly.
so this might be gravy. I can get me a nice little new contract, and I ain't got to work as hard. And linemen love to run block, so that's fun. We still gonna run the ball. I still get to put some. I still put somebody on their back.
Yep.
You know, so I don't know. Brandon Sheriff, and this is one that Tristan was worried about.
I think he's gone out of Washington. Somebody's gonna pay him. I don't know who, but he's gone. I think he's gone out
Does
of
he play
Washington.
right guard or left guard?
He plays. I think he plays right guard.
Okay.
Um, like I said, I think he's gone out of Washington, especially if Washington's looking to trade for a quarterback such as a Russell Wilson or whoever they can get, because because they have defensive linemen to pay. Terry McLaurin's going to get paid. $20+ million.
Terry.
It's just too much money. I just don't see him come back. I mean, if he comes back to Washington, cool. I mean, well, not cool for me because well, actually, I don't care because we beat Brandon Sheriff anyway, so I don't care. But of course, it'd be cool for Washington fans to say, okay, good for us that we brought him back. But okay,
Okay, so yeah, they have him listed as a right guard.
yeah, he's a right guard. Yep.
Yeah, so okay, Orlando Brown Jr., Kansas City Chiefs.
I don't know how much cap space Kansas City have, and see,
Stand by.
he's a free agent. Honey Badger's a free agent. Now
Yeah,
we're not gonna touch on Honey Badger today because he's defense. But man, now they did cut Anthony Hitchens for 8.4 to free up $8.4 million. Now that might not show right away on over the cap because it just happened today, so it might not show up till next week when we talk. But um, I write down how much it is today, and then we'll see what it looks like next week. And we may
it's 11.1 under the cap
and
for
see I don't
Kansas City.
and see I don't know if they still got Hitchens on the books or not.
Yeah, and over the cap is kind of slow about
Y-
updating stuff.
That's why. So
Uh,
I tell you what, we may have to throw Orlando Brown into the defense segment, even though he's offense, because I want to know what the cap looks like next week.
Right. So we hit that. Okay, so two more we're looking at.
Okay.
These are the top two names: Ryan Jensen, center at Tampa Bay, and Terran Armstead, the left tackle in New Orleans.
So Terran Armstead, New Orleans, they don't have the money to keep him unless they're gonna probably end up reworking contracts like crazy. Maybe he gets franchise tag, but if he does not get franchise tag, man, the market is gonna blow up for him.
Yeah, like pre-June 1st, they can save $2 million cutting Michael Thomas or trading him.
Even Rapport was talking about he's coming back. I was like, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't get that either.
I don't get that either.
Look at this one though. They cut Bradley Roby or restructuring him. They can save 9.4 million. Um,
Let's put it this way. They're gonna do what they can to try to keep him. But man, when March 16 hits, I swear if he's not franchise tag or under a new contract,
oh, they about people gonna be throwing money. They like it's gonna look like the tip drill video.
man. Hey, look.
They're gonna be throwing money at Terran on because let's really look at this. Terran Armstead, if I'm not mistaken, is still in his 20s. And a good offensive lineman can play into their mid-30s.
Yes.
So you're looking at, this next deal he gets could be his biggest deal. And right now he's the best left tackle available.
He's 30. He's 30 years old. He turns 31 in July.
He's 31. Okay, you're right. I'm sorry. He's 31.
31 in July.
Lead that long.
So but he's still gonna command that money though. He's still gonna command that money. God, that's gonna be interesting to watch. That's interesting to watch. Ryan Jansen. I don't know how much cap space Tampa Bay have. I wouldn't think it'll be a whole lot, but I could be wrong. That's another interesting one too. That's gonna be another interesting one too. I can't wait till March 14th and 16th, man. I can't wait.
And again, you're looking at, hey man, the GOAT is not with us no more.
And Rob Gronkowski, we don't know what's going to happen to him.
I really want to come and play for them. Tampa Bay only has 2.3 million under the cap.
Man, Tampa Bay is not going to be the same.
No, sir.
That NFC South is going through some serious changes.
Man, that it's like that show Big Mouth. I'm going through changes. That whole division is like, what is going on? Atlanta is terrible, and they're 7 million over the cap.
Carolina has no quarterback. I mean, they have a potential fantastic defense if it's not fantastic already.
Right. Carolina got about 15 million under the cap, but they still don't know their quarterback situation, and then they could also potentially lose some good players to free agency that we hadn't even covered yet.
Yeah, I know.
The Saints are in salary cap hell with a new
Yes.
coach.
Mm.
Uh, and it's like you look at Tampa Bay, the GOAT's not there anymore. You
Nope.
got you got Gronkowski, you got OJ Howard, you got Chris Godwin. All of these guys are free agents. Now we're talking about Jensen, who's that center, the quarterback of the offensive line. You know, so it's like I don't know, man. It's gonna look kind of crazy in the South. But we're gonna wrap up here tonight. We covered offensive free agents
Hmm.
when the period starts. On next week, hopefully we'll have our two brothers back, and we're gonna talk about defensive free agents. Thank you for tuning in. If you're watching on YouTube, um, thank you for watching. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Also, feel free to comment on our YouTube page, things that you might like to see on the show or talk about. And if some good comments, we'll bring them up in the show and we'll talk about it.
And definitely please share us on YouTube and other podcasts as on Apple, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. Share us. Please get other people to like us on YouTube as well. Because we would love to go live on YouTube as well. As another um platform to go live on.
All right, so this has been Just a Fan. My name is Eric Pandemonium Wright. This is the Football Encyclopedia. Oh, let me point the other way. This is the Football Encyclopedia, Mr. Brandon Williams, and we are signing off.
Too deep, baby.